Can you honestly say your Brexit policy and your leadership will bring this deeply divided nation and union back together? Rishi Sunak.
Our view is straightforward. 3 years ago, the British people voted to leave the EU. It's time we respected that and actually left. And with a Conservative government, we can deliver that within weeks. With the new Brexit deal that we've already agreed, we can be out by the end of January. The point is this: whether you voted leave or remain, it's time for us as a country to move forward, not remain stuck in neutral. So rather than spending more years going round in circles with more referendums and the division and delay that that would bring, Jeremy Corbyn propped up by the SNP, let's just get Brexit done.
Thank you. Nicola Sturgeon.
Well, of course, the country I represent voted to remain in the European Union by more than 60%. Even some people who voted to leave, and I suspect this is true across the UK, are utterly fed up of the mess that Brexit has become, of the chaos that we've seen played out over the last 3.5 years. So my policy on Brexit of giving people across the UK the opportunity to think again and to escape the Brexit mess, yes, I do think can help to bring people back together, because the biggest con in this election is the slogan from the Tories that if they win this election, Brexit gets done. We only move into the next and probably more chaotic part of the process, and of course a no-deal Brexit would be back on the horizon next year. On the point about the union, it's not the sign of a strong union where Scotland can be dragged out of the EU against our will. If Scotland is independent, we get to be in a partnership of equals with the rest of the UK, which is a much better position to be in.
45 seconds for each reply. Adam Price next.
Look, the reality of it is this. We were already a divided so-called United Kingdom. We were divided by a huge chasm of wealth between the north and the south, between the west and the east of the country. And many people, there will be many, many different reasons for voting leave, but many people in the former coalfield communities, like the one that I'm from, voted for leave because they were exasperated at a Westminster political establishment that has never delivered economic change for them. I have to be honest to people in the communities like the one that I represent. Look, Brexit will not deliver the economic justice that we want. It'll make matters worse. It'll take the division that's already there and make it worse. It'll do to our economy what it's done to our politics, divided the rich from the poor. It will not be the answer to our problem. Certainly don't take power from Brussels. They're putting in Westminster. Will do the opposite of economic change for Wales.
Thank you. Jo Swinson.
Well, we need to resolve the chaos of Brexit. We need to end the chaos of Brexit. We've seen for the last 3.5 years, it's costing more than people ever thought. It's taking longer, and it's not anywhere near done. There are so many problems in our country that do divide our country. The inequality that for too many people, it feels like it's just too hard to get by to make ends meet. And we need to resolve those things. But we know from the government's own analysis, from all of the economic analysis, that remaining in the EU will mean we have more money. We can invest more in our public services. We will be better able to improve people's lives and help to resolve that division.
Thank you. Just a brief reminder of the question before we come to Richard Bergen. Can you honestly say your Brexit policy and your leadership can bring this deeply divided nation back together? Richard Bergen.
Our policy is about bringing people together. And that's why, as Prime Minister, Jeremy Corbyn will play the role of honest broker as opposed to stockbroker like Nigel Farage and some of the people that back the Tories, and bring people together by giving it to the public to have a final say between a credible leave option that doesn't crash our economy and reduce rights, or remain. And whatever the result of that referendum, that final say referendum in the people have our word that we will implement it. On one hand, we have the Liberal Democrats who want to ignore everyone who voted leave. On the other hand, we have the Thatcherites and the Conservative Party and the Brexit Party who want to ignore everyone who voted remain. We want to bring this country together.
Thank you. Sian Berry.
I understand completely the motivation behind the question, because we're all really just hoping that the country will stop being so divided. And I have to say, I really, truly believe that the best way to finish off Brexit, to finish off this process, is with more democracy, with a people's vote. And I think, looking around this panel, we've got a majority of parties here who are committed to putting back the Brexit question in a people's vote. I do believe that's the best way to finish it off. And I do believe that Brexit would be a disaster. The reason I want to get the people's vote done is so we can get back to fixing the country, to dealing with the problems that austerity caused. And I don't think we can trust the Conservatives with another vote in this election, another government, because they've had 3 years. They've made a hash of Brexit and they cannot be trusted again.
Thank you. Nigel Farage.
Well, Sian, you beautifully illustrate why there's division in the country, because the political parties and most of Westminster don't accept the result of the people. Losers' consent is the principle by which civilised democracy works. You fight elections, you lose them, you accept the result. That is how our system works. We have had 3.5 years, and you're still doing it. You don't accept the result, and now you want a second referendum, just to give even more division and acrimony in the country. And I've no doubt that when we vote to leave again by an even bigger margin, you still wouldn't accept it. There's no perfect answer, given where we are. But we have to deliver Brexit. We have to become an independent country, or our democracy in this country is frankly dead.
Thank you very much, all of you.